we're back. We're on the Seney stretch. And I want to show you guys, especially if you're out driving at night, you catch up to some type of vehicle that's blinking. And I see a green blink. Well, that green blink, then I'm going to go around him. That is a snowplow. Those are the guys that are out here trying to keep this road open. Thanks, guys. Thank you for all your hard work. He's got some really bright high beams, though. He realized it. But they're the ones that keep these roads like this open. As you can tell, as our last video, we were on M77. Now we're on M28. This is the section of road that most drivers that I speak to that are either from the eastern UP or lower Michigan, they dread this section of road because it is a Seney stretch. It is like 23 or 25 miles of perfectly straight road, perfectly flat road, perfectly straight road. And it's one of those sections of road that, you know, when you're looking down the way and you see cars coming towards you, the only reason you can't see them the whole distance is because of the curvature of the earth. But as you can see, the snow is getting very deeper, much quicker. We are in, or coming into, or in a what's called a heavy snow belt area. So this area tends to receive a lot of snow. Now I wanted to make a couple points here. First of all, cell service on this section of road usually isn't the greatest. So if you're going to be traveling through here, make sure you tell people, tell other people, hey, this is where I'm going, here's my route. So that way, if you break down or go in a ditch or, well, anything like that, they have an idea of where you might be or should be. The other thing I want to tell you, I've noticed this recently, a lot of people driving small cars that have little to no ground clearance. These things I'm sure they get amazing gas mileage, but see how clean this road is. This is a rarity that it's this clean. It's usually much worse because it's snowing so bad. I've never had a time that I've been on this road in the wintertime and not found a snowplow somewhere along this section of road. It's because it snows so much, they pretty much dedicate a plow crew to this area. Now there is, the Seney stretch does encompass parts of 2 counties. Those counties are Alger and Schoolcraft, and so there usually is 2 different road commissions that handle it. But I've seen a lot of bad accidents on this section of road. A lot of times where people, not paying attention or something, maybe they drift off to one side. That so much won't be a problem this year because, as you can see, the snowbanks are let's see, these snowbanks are probably pretty close to 5 feet high already, and it's only the 6th of December. We're probably, at the rate we're going, I would be willing to bet these snowbanks are going to be well in excess of 7-8 feet before our snow shuts off for the year. And that don't typically happen until the lakes freeze, which typically means sometime mid-January or even early February. And it all depends, you know. The lakes are so much higher now that you know, I'm doubtful they're gonna freeze, at least completely. But yeah, a lot of you guys ask, you know, a lot of other drivers I encounter, they ask me, and they're like, well, how do you drive all that and not fall asleep or not get bored or whatever? Well, usually if we didn't have so much snow, you know, you'd have to watch for a lot of wildlife, but there's not a big risk of that now with so much snow. And you kind of learn, you know, different areas of the Seney stretch. You know, like I'm in the section now. I don't know if we can make it. Let's see if I pan the camera. No, you can't really tell. Anyways, I'm in a section now that there's trees on both sides of the roads. There's not a whole lot of wind. There's a few cabins. You know, you see these signs on the side. But let's see. Well, yeah, we're probably 5 miles from Shingleton right now. So, you know, we're on the end of this. Maybe even less than 5 miles, probably. I don't know. Let's see if I can see that car in front of us. Yep. Now, just think, this road, those of you that don't know, this is the longest straight stretch of road east of the Mississippi. So, the only other places there are roads that are this straight and this long and this flat are like Texas and Arizona, stuff like that, where it's, you know, desert you're driving across. This isn't desert. This is the majority of this land that we're driving across is part of the Seney National Wildlife Refuge. So that's the majority of the land. So, you know, you're thinking about that and you're like, so there's no towns, no houses, very little cell reception, and you get and go and do it, and, get her done. So yeah, we'll go ahead and drive for a little bit, and then let's see, this is going to lead us up to Shingleton. That's just a little town that pretty good popular town in the wintertime for snowmobilers. They got a restaurant with a bar, and I don't think they have a gas station, no. But and then that leads us over to Wetmore, which is a little town just outside of Munising. Because I travel, my office and whatnot is located over near old Air Force Base south of Marquette, and because of that, I don't go into Munising. I'll turn on M94 right before Munising. Now that section of road, and I'll probably do another video on that section of road. That section of road also, cell service is very, very little. That road is actually worse for cell service than this road is. So, as you can see, we're coming into Shingleton. You know, the road does a slight little turn off the Seney stretch, just a roll into Shingleton. I always think back to when these roads were first built. You know, you think about when this road was first built. It was probably originally at one time it was a horse trail that then got then changed to a state high, or to a, yeah, I think it was a state highway back in the 30s. You know, but it just didn't have the M designation. And then, you know, you think about that, when it got the M designation and got paved and all that, probably in the early 40s. You know, this is before GPS technology. This is long before any of that. You know, they were still able to make that road perfectly straight. You're going to do that with a compass and a sight line, and oh wow, it's amazing. Now we got people that have trouble drawing a straight line with a freaking computer helping them. So anyways, as you can see, we're coming into Wetmore. Actually, we just left Shingleton, heading for Wetmore, and the snowbanks have gotten considerably higher, quicker. Snowbanks now, I would say 5, almost 6 feet. Now, yeah, the road is a little wider here, but these little sticks, I don't know if you can make them out. County puts sticks every little ways to mark where the snowbank's supposed to be. Those sticks are like usually 10 feet tall, sometimes bigger than that, sometimes closer to 11 or 12. And when you can only see less than half of that stick, it gives you an idea how big this snowbank is. I could tell you another maybe rant I've encountered today since I've been driving. Earlier when it was snowing, you know, I encounter all these little cars that, you know, they're too afraid to go, you know, any faster than 30 miles an hour just because there's a little bit of snow on the road. There wasn't much. There was like 2 inches, maybe 3 inches at the most. But then we get, and now that was down the Lower Peninsula where they didn't have snowbanks to stop them from going in the ditch or anything like that. Well, now we get up here in the Upper Peninsula, and all the tiny cars or small cars I've encountered. Now the speed limit in this area is 65. And that is what speed we are traveling right now, is 65. And it's been snowing off and on, not much, but a little bit. But the roads are fairly clean and dry. So I get all these little cars that have been passing me because I'm going too slow. Well, wait a minute. If the speed limit is 65 and I'm going 65, and you have to pass me, how fast are you going? Makes me wonder a little bit. Now, if you're doing 70 or 75 or whatever, now these roads can change in an instant. We could come around a corner and it be a snow belt area with lake effect snow belt or snow band, and the road could be crap. We don't know. It happens all the time. I'll try to get some videos of it when I encounter it. But if you're doing 70 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour, because you're thinking, oh, the roads are clear, I can just get and go, then you hit a crap spot like that, and you lose control. Yeah, I don't want to go hitting these snowbanks. Think of that first couple feet of snow we got was heavy, wet snow. Now these snowbanks have had time to take that wet snow and freeze. So these things are going to be hard. What's that little car like when it hits a solid wall at 70 miles an hour? All because you wanted to go faster. I want to point something out here just so you can see it. You look in front of me and you can see it in the camera that the sky is glowing. You're like, oh, you got a picture of the northern lights. Yeah, no, I didn't get a picture of the northern lights. As we're coming into Munising here, or actually we're coming into Wetmore, the state of Michigan has a correctional facility or a prison here, and that is what is lighting up the sky. Is that prison? Is those are most likely snow clouds or some type of clouds in the sky and the light from that prison, because everything's lit up at the prison, is reflecting off the clouds, and so you get to see the skylight up here. I get a lot of people, they come to Munising or Wetmore and they're like, oh, look at the northern lights. Nope, that ain't it. Sorry. I've seen northern lights in the UP, but if you're near Wetmore here and you look up and you see the sky glowing like this, it 99% chance it is the prison lights that are doing that. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. We're just coming into Wetmore. We'll do another one later. Thank you.